Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on August 25th, Monday, 2014, around 15:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time. Today's been today's been a very fine day, actually. Got a good night's sleep. And I heard from a couple of people. One fella was a guy I worked with in the operating room. And he got a hold of me by email out of the blue, which was great. And I wouldn't mind seeing him and hearing more from him again. If nothing else, just he could tell me how some of the people I used to work with are or are not now. Unfortunately, there are some that are not. It was fun to hear from him. And then there was another guy that there's another guy. And then there's a fellow from England who watches my videos, and I've sort of encouraged him to start making videos, and he started making videos, and he's put a couple up, and his name's Tony Peacham, and you ought to look at the two he's put up. He's really almost done his own little 2-volume series of August autobiographies. But he spent a fair amount of time talking about his dad, as we all do when we get talking about these things. And he's talking about his dad's pulmonary disease that he got basically by working down in the mines. And I got thinking then about the time my friend and I traveled in England in 1971, the summer of 1971. And we were staying with sort of second cousin-y relatives of his some nights, and other nights we were sleeping out. Other nights we'd sleep in a bed and breakfast. But we were staying with this family in Doncaster. Members of his family, extended family, very extended family in Doncaster. And in the Midlands, North Midlands, I guess more properly. And this one fellow was an assistant manager of one of the coal mines, and that was when I think the coal mines were still nationalized. And he arranged to have us taken down into the mine. And so we went into the changing room and got on these overalls and a hard hat with a light, and we got a safety briefing, and he didn't go down with us, but he had one of his sort of trusted minions go down with us, shepherd us around. And we actually went down at the start of a shift, and it was made clear to us we weren't going to come back up till the end of that shift. And well, you're in for a penny, in for a pound, as they say. And went down, and you ride the, this was, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are various techniques of coal mining that they use over there. But at this time, what they would do is they would drive two parallel shafts about maybe 200 yards apart, and they'd drive them out to a certain distance. And then what they'd do is they'd go out to the far end of where the shaft stopped, and then they would cut a track over to the other parallel shaft and lay a movable series of track with a device that can lift it up, and then after what I describe happens, move it progressively back towards sort of like the base area of where there was two cuts, one out. And so you get on this cart and you go down to the mine face, and you're on your belly, and you know you're basically on it. It's not like a scene out of The Great Escape, but you got to keep your head down, and you've got your hard hat on and so forth. But still, you don't want to, because they take you out there fairly fast, and they had good ventilation down there. I mean, we were around 3,000 feet underground, and you still had a pretty good draft through there, which is what you want. I guess you want to ventilate out any gases and things. So we got down to the face, and they have this muncher that went and as the muncher went along, it discharged the coal into this conveyor belt affair that then discharged it onto a conveyor belt that was running along the track that we had gone down by to get there. And so when it got over to the other side, what was interesting is that they would then lift the rail cart that carried the coal out there, and then what they would do, and then what would happen is the coal face that they had just cut, the ceiling over it, which was about maybe 4 feet wide, it collapsed. So you had this whole wall of coal about 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall, 4 feet wide, come right there, and you've got about 30 human beings around when that's happening. That was very impressive to a boy from the Midwest of southwestern Ohio at that time. Well, that's pretty impressive to a boy of any. I wouldn't call myself, hell, I was a man. I was 19. I was a man. Fuck. Yeah. 4 years later, I was a physician. Yeah, I was a man. But wow, I mean, that's. So we spent the working day down there with these guys, basically trying to stay out of their way and being completely fascinated by the whole affair. So then, at the end of the day, end of the shift, back and then up, and then this massive communal shower where essentially, all the coal dust on our bods are getting washed down the hole, and of course, for me, sort of a closeted gay guy, I mean, that's having very mixed feelings about all this. And then, really, in a way, another really good part of the day was going to start, because they took us to the Miners Club. the Miners Club slash pub. You know, it was a private club, I guess, but you know, given the fact that pretty much everybody in town worked at the mine, it was essentially the pub. And of course, you know, I mean, God bless the British. God bless the miners in particular. You know, massive, unstinting, generous hospitality. They would not let us buy around. They would not let us. They just would not let us buy around, and they were impressed that, you know, we'd gone down there and hadn't whined and pissed and moaned, you know. Well, hell, you won't do that. You don't want to do that. Good Lord, frankly, I didn't ever feel the need to piss and moan. I knew I was being taken care of. I mean, I knew there was a high mortality rate in this industry, but I mean, they clearly weren't killing each other left and right. I also knew that the guys that worked there long term were subject to, you know, various, you know, dust-induced diseases. As this fellow from England that I've started emailing back and forth with now, because, you know, I mean, his dad had that problem, clearly. You know, and they result in hypertension and then emphysema and so forth. But that's, I'd have to list that as one of the 5 to 7 most formative events in my life, and I'm very grateful to the people in Doncaster that made that experience possible. I think about that a lot, actually. Not just because this guy talked about his dad, but it's one of those things you think about a lot, you know. I mean, there are these guys down this hole, you know, and I think about that a lot now with all the carbon dioxide horse shit going on. Oh, we can't burn coal, you know. Oh, give me a break, you know. I mean, you know, if the earth is warming, it's warming, but it has nothing to do with the fact there's carbon dioxide in here. You know, the earth was far warmer many years ago, even without all the elevated level of carbon dioxide. So, as I like to say, give me a break. So, let's go down and see what the mail is or is not up to today. Maybe the magazine that worships the great god carbon dioxide, The Economist, has arrived. We'll see. Oh yes, hang on. Oh my, there's a whole... It seems like a squirrel has started to make a nest in the in the mailbox. Let me show you. You'll get a kick out of this. Check it out. I may have to clean this out, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for the squirrel, but fortunately for my mail carrier. That's all new since yesterday, guys. So somebody's been a busy lad and lass on that one. Habitats, huh? Habitats. Well, my string fell off, so you're going to get clicking as I go back up the driveway. Oh, it's awful. I'm going to have printer's ink all over my hands, and I'm going to piss and moan about printer's ink now. Oh gosh. Well, I hate to destroy that little animal's nest. Still, that may be an area that I'm going to have to draw the line at. I'm pretty laissez-faire about a lot of things, as you may have gathered, but I may have to draw the line at having some sort of animal living in my mailbox. Well, let's see here. I'm going to grab my beer out of my truck. Paul's been napping in the other room there, or in the house, so I decided to come out here to make this video. So Tony Peachum, God bless you, your dad and your family and all that, all the stuff that you went through and are going through, just the situation. And all the people that watch me, God bless you too. So I'm going to go in here now and upload this, maybe, hopefully, and see if I can put this here without knocking it off here. Alrighty, so I'm going to say bye-bye, YouTubers.